talking about separation anxiety. And so the first verse up here is Isaiah 26:20, and it says, "Go, my people, enter your rooms and close your doors behind you. Hide a little while until the wrath has passed." I felt that was very interesting too, because of our whole COVID and quarantine situation we've had in 2020, and it says it right here too about it. I underlined a couple of things on this page. It says Jesus demonstrated it himself enduring 40 days of solitude before entering into public ministry. Throughout his early life, he would often slip away into the wilderness to be alone with God, usually in the early morning while it was still dark. And God usually, and socially distant before the rest of us even knew social distance was a thing. So I just thought it was really interesting how Priscilla brought those things together. And also here on this page, there was a couple of questions here. One that stood out to me was question number 2. So it says, what direction have you felt the Spirit turning you toward? So I said turning me towards a place of new discoveries and spiritual growth, and relying on God and my husband to navigate our next chapter. So I just feel like this whole thing is just really relying on God more than people. And when you're in a situation where you're separated yourself from society, like we all have been, you really need to lean upon God more. And in here, she quoted from a philanthropist of Mr. Meyer here on the bottom. And I'll just read it here at the beginning. Here it says, "The one who to take a high place before his fellows must take a low place before his God, and there is no better manner of bringing a man down than suddenly dropping him out of a sphere to which he was beginning to think himself essential, teaching him that he is not all necessary to God's plan, and compelling him to consider in the sequestered vow of some Cherith how imbalanced his motives and how insignificant his strength." It's kind of a lot. It was very wordy to kind of wrap your brain around. But one thing that I liked down here at the bottom question, and it says, suddenly dropping him out of sphere. When God suddenly removes us from a season that we've been populated with, many people and relationships, into one that's marked by solitude, it can be unsettling. It says, why might such an abrupt shift sometimes be necessary in adjusting our perspectives, pruning our pride, and reorienting our priorities? But that was a very deep question, but one thing that came to mind was just reminding us that our faith, and to teach us no matter where he drops us, we will land on our feet, and he's constant and never changes. So I just felt that was a really good reminder for all of us. And then over here on these other 2 pages, I really liked this quote here towards the top of the page. She first starts off, "The sequestered veil of Cherith is where he keeps teaching me this, and whenever he wants to reshape and refocus me in areas where my flesh has become to take control, or just prepare me for the next stage of my journey with him, this is something that she feels that God's whispering to her." So I'll just read it here. It says, Priscilla, which we could put our own names, "My daughter, trust me, go away from where you've been. Cut unnecessary strings to passions, ambitions, people, and pleasures that are dividing your affections and allegiance. Turn your energy and attention in a new direction, toward new goals that I will show you. Hide yourself there and rest until I release you. I thought it was very profound. I felt like that at times in our lives we do need to cut those things that are weighing us down, that aren't allowing us to move forward, like she says here, in new directions. So I really loved that quite a bit. Over here, it just also kind of has you flip towards the parts of the Bible, like Joseph, Moses, Samuel, and Paul, and kind of gather like some of the things that God's shown them and where they were placed. So that was really good too. And here on the last page, I really liked this quote over here too. It says, isolation proved vital in God's process of preparing them for lives of maximum fruitfulness. It's where their passions were shaped and their ambitions were purified, where they met God in new and unexpected ways. So yeah, I think God just really wants us to just be quiet and still and just to hear his voice. It's funny, it just reminds me of some of the things that we tell our kids is why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We need to listen more and speak less. So I pray, ladies, that you found time to go through some of this of day 1. If not, I pray that this was helpful and this really inspired you, encouraged you to do day 2, which I plan on trying to do tomorrow. So until then, friends, love and God bless. Good night.